That's what we do, parades, it's a Black culture.
Excuse me, time out. I'm Black, and guess what? I'm not wearing a do-rag on the screen because I'm in a courtroom. One, she's laying in bed, but the next thing she did was she was smoking on screen. And no, do-rags are not Black culture. Do-rags have been invented recently. I would love to be laying in my bed having court from bed. Would be relaxing. Since she wanna be all, I'm hard.
Telling the attorney that there's tasing happening at the jail. I'm sure those cadets don't want to be tased if it's not in training. So who are these other people who are tasing cadets?
Do you realize what you're accused of by tasing and harassing these cadets is not a proper work environment or training environment for them?
100%.
Okay. Have you learned from this not to do something like that?
100%. Yes.
Were you ever tased? Yes or no?
Yes, I was.
Okay. And is it part of training that everybody's going to get tased sooner or later? Is there normally a time when they get
At a
tased?
time and a place, yes.
Okay. And did you notice anything from the inmates reacting to your alleged misconduct?
I'm sorry?
Did you notice that any of the inmates took the fact that you may have tased somebody as something they could get away with more problems?
Mr. Anton, I do not recall tasing in front of inmates.
So, and this is your first offense,
Yes, sir.
correct? Okay.
Excuse me. Norma. Go ahead.
You're asking the judge to give you deferred adjudication on this, your first offense.
Yes, I am.
And you'll follow any conditions the court gives you to do?
Of course.
Okay. Anything else you want to say real quickly?
I have a newborn baby. This is a first time offender. I do understand what I did was, wrong. I would not do it again if it was a mistake. I'm about to get married here in the next couple of weeks. I asked for, if you put on deferred, I would greatly appreciate it. Have done my lesson, Your Honor. And I would never, ever do anything like this again.
Any questions?
Any questions from the state?
Just a few questions. So your attorney asked you, you know that that's not a proper work environment, stuff to do in the work environment, correct? But you understand this is more than just some type of workplace harassment, that was criminal conduct you were doing,
Yes,
where you were housing people who have allegedly committed crimes.
correct.
So in fact, you were committing crimes in the jail.
Correct.
No further questions, Judge.
Nothing else, John?
All right. Mr. Garcia. The state decided to go on count 4, tampering with government records. They didn't go on counts 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6, and 7. So when is your wedding?
We are actually going to marriage license to pick up the proper documents. And then whenever, I guess, they have their scheduling, we'll pick a date, but as soon as possible.
All right. The state is asking for you to have a conviction. If this were counts 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and 7, I would probably have no question about giving you a conviction. But however, you do need to be punished. And
Yes, ma'am.
punished is not just permanent surrender of your TCO license. So I'm going to give you a choice. I will give you 4 years deferred adjudication. With that, you're going into custody to the Bexar County Jail for 30 days. That's your punishment. Or I will give you a conviction. Which do you choose?
And the conviction, or you're just giving regular probation, is that what you're saying,
Yes.
Your Honor? You want the conviction?
The convictions, no jail time.
No, I mean, that's something you can discuss with your attorney. I will give you 4 years deferred adjudication. With 4 years deferred adjudication as part of your punishment, you're going to the Bexar County Jail today in handcuffs for 30 days, or you will have a guilty conviction on your record. Which do you choose?
The conviction.
And let me ask you this, since you're under oath, why don't you want to go to the Bexar County Jail?
I have a family to support. I am the only one that works within my family. My wife is focusing on her degree. And it's, I don't want to be in jail, Your Honor.
Well, the people you tased, they just wanted to, I'm assuming they were there to support their families as well. So why were you tasing people? And I don't want to hear, because how old are you?
24.
24. I don't want to hear this is like college and people are hazing people. I never understood why people who had been hazed decide to haze other people. So why were you tasing people at the jail who are just there? And I know those cadets are young because I've seen some of them. They're 18. Some of them look as though they're 12. So why were you tasing cadets?
Your Honor, doesn't make it right. It's a thing that's going around.
Oh, you're saying there are other cadets there are other people at the, give me names. Who are the people who are tasing people at the jail?
Off the top of my head, Your Honor, it's been a while. I don't,
No, I'm thinking, who tased you? Give me a name. I'm sure the state would like to know these names. So who are the names of the people who were tasing you?
Your Honor, I do not remember.
Of course, you always remember the first person who tased you.
The first person who tased me was in proper training.
Oh, what's their name?
That was
All of the complainants in this case remember you as tasing them. That's why you're here. So who tased you?
in proper training. It was Deputy Chavez.
No. Not in training, because you were not tasing people in training. I know that sometimes, and I don't know if it's still the case. I think it's not the case. They would tase officers in training so they would know this is the voltage of the taser. This is how it feels. Much like in the military, when they release the gas, so you'll know how to wear your mask properly. No, I'm talking about who tased you improperly, because that's why we're here. You're saying people hazed you, so you're just hazing people. So who are these people who tased you when you were not in training?
Your Honor, I do not remember names.
All right. So who else is tasing people at the jail and tasing cadets other than you? Because that's what you're telling people. You're telling me, you're telling the state, you're telling the attorney that there's tasing happening at the jail. I'm sure those cadets don't want to be tased if it's not in training. So who are these other people who are tasing cadets? We want to know. So tell me who they are. Do you need to sit in the box while you think of the names of the people?
Mr. Randall.
Can you remember any names at
I
all?
cannot remember any names.
Is there any reason why are you not intentionally not remembering names, correct?
No, I cannot remember.
Oh, I mean, if you want to sit in the box and think about the names, because you can't just throw around people are being tased at the jail by other people and then that's it. Who are these people who are tasing people? There's nothing worse. Well, there may be other things that are worse than people who say, well, I heard. But you're not saying I
I
heard.
heard, yes, ma'am.
You're saying, oh, now you're changing it to I heard.
I haven't seen someone get tased. I've heard of stories of people getting tased, and I just ran with that.
Oh, so he's never seen anybody tased. So now he's not just continuing the hazing that happened to him. He was just tasing people. Your unborn child, is this going to be a girl or a boy?
He's born 4 months old. He's a boy, yes, ma'am.
4 months old. So what if he decides to be a cadet at the jail and somebody like you who's 6'10", however much you weigh, is tasing him?
I would be unhappy with that.
How unhappy would you be?
Very unhappy. Very unhappy.
And how would you think the work environment would be for your son when they're constantly worried about some guy who's bigger than them tase them?
As a parent, I would not approve of that work environment, Your Honor.
That's what you did. Some people would call it being a bully, but that's what you did.
Yes, ma'am.
So you deserve a conviction, and I'm going to give you a conviction. Is there anything else from either party?
No, Your Honor, nothing from the defense.
Nothing further from the state, Judge.
All right, where are you working?
Alamo Toyota.
I'm sorry?
Alamo Toyota.
All right, what do you do?
I'm a sales rep.
All right, court is going to sentence you to 1 year in the state jail facility, suspended and probated for 4 years. Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Regular reporting Oh, and if I haven't said it before, I'm finding you guilty. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. There's to be regular UAs. There's to be the permanent surrender of your TCOL license. And I know sometimes people will give up their TCOL license, but then they go to another state and they're allowed to become officers again. So while you're on this probation, there's to be no employment as a security officer, any field of employment which requires you to supervise others. Probation, is there any type of anti-bullying course for him? All right, you're going to take somebody's anti-bullying course so you can understand the impact that you have when you bully people.
Sure.
There's to be no contact with any of the complainants. That's Dayton Lopez, Xavier Garcia Rios, Efren Acosta. Probation, is there anything else? Oh, 200 hours of community service restitution. Court is not waiving any of those hours, and I'm going to require parenting classes. Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
Want to just give you anything, help you at all. This is your time to ask.
Sir, is there anything else you need from the court to be successful on this probation?
No, no.
All right. I'm showing, I understand why you don't want to do your time at the Bexar County Jail. And you know what? I know it has to do with people in the box and security for you at the Bexar County Jail. So that heavy beating of your heart, that's the heavy beating that all of those cadets had whenever you were on shift. And you need to remember that. Do you understand?
Sure.
All right, good luck to you. Yes,
I apologize. You want field visits?
yes, field visits once a month for 3 months. All right, just have a seat. They'll go over conditions with you.
How long is it going to take your client to remove her do-rag and dress appropriately and be ready for court, Mr. Myrick?
I don't know. Honestly, I thought that was kind of native scarf or something on her head, but maybe it wasn't. All
I
right.
thought it was okay for
I'll
me to
do it.
wear it because I wasn't at court. I was in my house.
Oh,
No
there's
one told me that I had to dress properly in my house, so I wasn't aware of that. Sorry, that's my fault.
No, you're in a courtroom. And honestly, I don't know why anyone would want to be seen in public with a do-rag.
That's what we do for wage. It's a Black culture.
Excuse me, time out. I'm Black, and guess what? I'm not wearing a do-rag on the screen because I'm in a courtroom. Not only am I not wearing a do-rag, I'm not picking up unauthorized uses or criminal cases. So please, don't try to tell me what's happening with the Black culture, because honestly, I believe
We're not comparing and contrasting. I'm talking
I'm
about me,
older
not
than
you.
you, and I
That's
know
the question
more
I
about
told
the
you.
Black
No matter
culture
about age,
than you,
not
and I
mindset.
respect the Black culture by remembering that my ancestors were slaves, and I'm not going out picking up criminal cases. So this is what we're going to do with yours, Mr. Myrick. Since she want to be all, I'm hard, she can be in court. So this is being recalled tomorrow, and she'll be in court. Thank you.
Okay. Look, well,
See you in court tomorrow at 1:30. It's the 187 District Court, 4th floor, 300 De La Rosa. And know that you're not allowed to wear a do-rag in court. And no, do-rags are not Black culture. Do-rags have been invented recently. So everybody go get your wrap on. See you at 1:30, Mr. Myrick. In court tomorrow.
Okay.
without a do-rag. Deputy Laura, Deputy Mahia,
Yes, Judge.
regardless of what she believes to be Black culture, do not allow her in the courtroom with a do-rag on.
Yes, Judge.
And if she's not dressed appropriately for court, then we will send her home so she can become dressed appropriately.
Yes, ma'am.
Now I'm going to have to start giving history lessons, Brenna. Young people. All right. Erin Sutherland Trevino, is she dressed appropriately, court, without a do-rag on her head?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial? A right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call them, the right to remain silent.
Yes,
I didn't
ma'am.
hear.
Nobody heard her.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you not speak up? Is there an issue?
Oh, I said yes, ma'am, like 3 times.
No, you didn't. And here's the thing. You need to speak up and you need to stop swaying. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You were on this Zoom yesterday talking about do-rags were a part of Black culture. Well, let me just tell you this. Swaying, not saying yes or no, that's not a part of the Black culture. That's just you doing silly things while you're on Zoom, and the court will not be tolerating it. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
No objection to that. We hope so, yeah.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Well, in the fact that she's really on her own and she's doing her best. I think she just has to be careful of the company she keeps. But she doesn't have, to my knowledge, alcohol or drug issues at this time. Perhaps a little bit of some mentoring would be helpful for her in obtaining stable employment.
Ms. Trevino, how old are you?
I'm 18.
If you're drug tested today and know you're going to be drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
Positive.
For what?
Marijuana.
And what else?
That's it.
Who are you living with?
Myself.
How far did you go in school?
I dropped out 9th grade.
Why?
Because I just was going through things and I wanted to make my money.
All right. So dropping out of school, I think we can put a checkbox by that's not a part of the Black culture.
I'm going back, so.
Well, going back and going back are
Huh?
two different things. You're not going back. You're not there.
I am there. I got my computer. I already went back. I go to CAN.
What did she just say? I have no idea.
It's off topic anyway. That's off topic.
Okay, see, I think this is what you don't understand. As a condition of your deferred adjudication, I can have you taken into custody, and then you can get on topic at the Bexar County Jail. Whatever question I ask you is on topic.
I go to school, so I answered your question.
What did she just say? She will not
I said I
open
go-
her mouth and speak so that somebody can understand her. Again, that's something that's not a part of the Black culture where we can't understand what each other is saying. So where are you at in school? Since you're saying you go to school,
9th grade.
where are you attending school?
Texas can?
What is your answer to that question?
Attending San Antonio CAN.
How long have you been there?
I just started this year, so probably like, I think I've been at CAN 3 months.
How are you supporting yourself?
I'm getting unemployment make money moves. My hustle is worth that. That's how I pay my bills.
Hustle is where
Side jobs. I do side jobs to pay my bills.
Okay, let's back up a little bit. First, you're saying you make money moves. Don't know what that is. And then you say you're hustling. What do you mean by hustling? What exactly are you doing?
I sell body wash. I sell makeup. I do like electronic stuff on the side with people. That type of stuff, like side jobs.
Where are you getting makeup from to sell?
I got connects. My girlfriend. She gave it to me and I said it.
You got connects. Here's the thing. People, could we all pretend, even if it's not true? Let's pretend like we have formal education, that we've went to school. And let's stop using slang. Let's start speaking in complete sentences. And every complete sentence must have at least two things, a noun and a verb, at the very least. So let's try doing that and let's be better.
You could hear you, but you're talking really low.
You're going to get a job. If you're living by yourself, you need to be employed.
Get a job, well, because right now I'm getting unemployment. I've been having issues with the unemployment, so that's kind of been an issue. So I'll probably end up back with a physical job like McDonald's, for example. And that's
No,
like,
I mean, what I'm telling you is you are going to have a job.
oh yeah,
Collecting unemployment means, the very definition of it means you don't have employment because you're unemployed. And the 187, you're on probation, you will have employment.
mm-hmm.
That's going to be $1,000 fine. No, I'm not probating it. 2 years deferred adjudication. There's to be no contact with Shakira Baker. And who are these people you were with in this vehicle?
My friends and my siblings.
Okay, who is Abel Ramos?
That's my friend.
All right, who is Nathaniel Mejia?
That's also my friend.
Who is Priscilla Salazar?
I think that was Nathaniel's chick or whatever.
Who is Amber Rocha?
She's a friend.
And who is Jennifer Rocha? All right. 2 years deferred adjudication. There's to be no contact with Miss Baker, Abel Ramos, Nathaniel Mejia, Priscilla Salazar, Amber Rocha, Jennifer Rocha, and Sharon Riles. There's to be weekly Zoom reporting or in person until further notice. Proof of employment within 30 days. And Rebecca, it needs to be a real job where she's getting a real paycheck and paying real taxes. 120 hours community service restitution. Cats 1 and 2. I'm going to want field visits at least 2 times per month at wherever she's staying. And I want it to be random. I'm going to want a UA tomorrow by 3 p.m. And Rebecca, if that UA turns up more than marijuana, then I want her in intensive outpatient treatment. If it's just marijuana, continue to test and see if the levels go down. If the levels go up, she's going to intensive. And nothing but the truth. So help you God.
Yes, ma'am.
You can lower your hand. Why are you not taking your drug test?
I had COVID symptoms and I told my PO and I was waiting to get back from her, but I never got back from her. So she had just arrested me the day I went to go report. But I had told her that, like, there was just one day I had told her I had the money, I'm feeling better if I could just go and take my drug test. And she said no, so I don't contaminate nobody.
So here's the thing. The state waived the other violations, so I'm not considering them. but you have a violation of number 2 on July 2nd, 2021, which is not taking a drug test. June 25th, 2021, which is not taking a drug test. June 10th, 2021, which is not taking a drug test. May 27th, 2021, using marijuana. April 14th, 2021, using marijuana. August 11th, 2021, not allowing probation to enter your home. August 27th, 2021, not attending the theft course. August 11th, 2021, not complying with your weekly appointments. And July 28th, 2021, not complying with intensive outpatient treatment. So yes, some people may have COVID. I think people are using COVID for everything. But here's the issue. You haven't had COVID that long if you ever did. And if you had COVID, all you had to do was provide proof of probation and you didn't. So again, we're back to this point. Do you even want to be on probation or do you just want to go to the state jail facility and be done?
No, I can do probation.
Well, no, you haven't shown me that you can do probation. So my question to you is, do you want to just go to the state jail facility and be done? Or do you want to complete this probation?
I want to complete the probation.
So what are you going to do to make sure that you complete this probation?
I'm going to get right, do what I have to do, so I won't end up in jail.
Okay, I have a question. I came across a list in the grant.
Court will deny the motion, alter and amend conditions to extend for 1 year. There is going to be weekly reporting until further notice, and that will be by Zoom or in person. You're to complete those 120 hours of community service restitution. However, the court will allow you to deduct 40 hours if you obtain the COVID vaccine, not forcing anyone to get the COVID vaccine, but if you do obtain the COVID vaccine, then 40 hours will be deducted. Court will not allow you to buy out your community supervision. And I'm sorry, State, what else were you all asking for or agreed to?
Sorry, Judge,
Was there anything else that you all asked for or agreed to?
we're following the recommendation of probation in this case. They had asked for 0 tolerance, but I know this court's position is 0 tolerance.
All right, and they're going to be field visits. And you know what? I had asked for field visits 2 times per month. They're going to be field visits 3 times per month. And if probation is not allowed in your house for any one of those field visits, a motion to revoke is going to be filed. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you miss Zoom reporting or reporting in person, a motion to revoke will be filed. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, is there anything else from either side?
Nothing from the state judge.
Nothing from the defense, Your Honor.
All right, with that, we will close the record. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1, probation. We'll go over conditions. Mr. Barreto, you can go to number 1 or either you can be excused.
I'd like to be.
73, 6527.
Could you call Mr. Martinez and let him know his client is in the courtroom?
Yes, ma'am, I just did.
All right, thank you. Ms. Flanagan? If you can unmute, please.
There, am I there?
Yes, you're there.
Oh,
All right, Mr.
God,
Flanagan.
I know nothing about phones like this. This is my first time. I'm so sorry. You want me to call Cornelius and tell him to get his booty over there?
Miss Flanagan?
Yes.
This is what I want you, I want you to internalize what I'm saying. And I want you to think about it. And when Cornelius zooms back in, you can have an answer for me, okay? So
Okay.
my understanding is that you're here trying to get off of probation early.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So what I want you to internalize and think about is, why would the judge allow somebody to get off of probation early when they're on Zoom laying in bed? So I want you to internalize what I've just asked you and then just think about it and address it when Cornelius comes.
All
right. Joseph Acevedo?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you can unmute. All right, Mr. Carrillo. All right. Marcus, he'll send it to you, and then if you could forward it to Mr. Brown.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and we have Cornelius Cox.
Let me get him, Judge.
All right.
Judge, while we're waiting, I had a chance to talk with Mr. Sanders.
Yes.
About Mr. Vasquez.
All right, Ms. Bendis. Okay. All right, Mr. Cox, we have a problem with your client. Oh, you're muted, Mr. Cox. Angel, he's muted.
Judge, he was taking care of a plea in the 175th, Judge. That's probably why he's muted. He was finishing up a plea.
Oh, well, if he wants to finish up the plea there, Angel, just let him finish up the plea there. His client is going to have to appear in court because she's.
Tell him, Ray, you can't unmute me.
Yeah, I am.
Judge, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, but here's the problem with your client.
Well, I know she's lying. She's in a bed, but she was attacked by a pit bull.
Oh, no. Here's the two cardinal sins she has committed. One, she's laying in bed. Two, I understand people have been attacked by pit bulls or whatever. Okay, fine. But the next thing she did was she was smoking on screen. And I will not have that.
Oh.
So, I mean, that's where we are. So if she wants to appear in court to have me hear her motion, I will be more than happy to hear it with her presence in court. But I don't know why people think that you can smoke on screen. Heck, I'd like to be eating a sundae with pecans on top and some whipped cream, but I can't do that. You know why? Because I'm in court. I would love to be laying in my bed having court from bed. It would be relaxing. Maybe getting a pedicure or manicure while we're doing court, but I don't, because that would not be professional. So I don't know why she would think she could lay in bed plus smoke a cigarette after I've already admonished her about laying in bed. So that's where we are.
Okay.
So she can show up to court and I'll hear her motion.
Okay. So that admonishment will not suffice. It wasn't that good admonishment. I even feel, I even feel more professional now since I've heard it.
Well, but you know what the problem is? You're already always professional. You're in suit and tie. So, yeah, but I'd already told her.
Okay. Can we, tomorrow? Oh, can we do it tomorrow then?
Oh, yeah, she can come to court tomorrow.
Okay. Do you want us to come in the afternoon or in the morning?
Do you have witnesses?
Oh, no.
In the morning.
In the morning.
Okay, no, Miss Flanagan, it'll be the afternoon.
Well, my husband, he travels, he picks up the handicapped kids, and that starts at 1, but he can be there with me in the morning.
You mean the children with physical disabilities? That is who he's picking up?
Yes. And that's what we do.
Well, it can't be tomorrow then.
No, it can. He gets back, he gets out.
No.
It can't be tomorrow because you're telling me you can't do tomorrow afternoon. And see,
I'm trying to tell you that he doesn't go in till 1 o'clock.
So what you want us to have a court hearing at
in
noon
the morning
for you because you are laying in bed and smoking?
No, ma'am.
Our morning docket is already full. We're not adding you to our morning docket.
Okay. So if we can't do it tomorrow afternoon, can we?
He said we can have him on video on the phone if you'd like, because we have that capability with our phones.
Here's the thing, you guys can go to a breakout room and discuss whatever you would like to discuss. We're going to move on to the next case.
All right.
Okay.
And then I'll inform your coordinator, Judge.
All right. I sent you to breakout room number 1, Cornelius.
Thank you, Judge.
Marijuana.
And so I want you to tell the court, when was the last time you smoked marijuana?
It's been about, honestly, 3 days.
30 days or 3 days?
3 days.
3 days, okay. So if you were to be tested today, would you be tested negative or positive? Because knowing that, I don't know if you know this, but marijuana stays in your system for more than 3 days.
Oh, I would test positive. That is the truth.
Okay, I have no further questions for this witness.
Any questions, Mr. Morris?
Hi, Mr. Bello. I'm Hunter Morris. Are there any other drugs that you have used within the past 30 days that could show up on a drug test today?
Well, I took some Vicodin and a Xanax, but that's about all the drugs that I've done, and it was the bare minimum. I mean, that's the truth. I don't want to lie to the court.
I'll pass witness, Judge.
Are all these prescription medications prescribed to you?
No, not as of current. I don't have any health insurance, and then when I went to jail and got out, it's just a lot to take on, and I know that's not an excuse.
Mrs. Sarkwanowicz, so your client is telling me she wants to be honest with the court and she doesn't want to be dishonest, but we've started off with, I'm going to be negative. Now it's turned to, I'm going to be positive for marijuana. And now it's turned to, no, Vicodin and Xanax.
Well, Your Honor, I understand that, Judge, but there's some mitigating circumstances. And either whether she can afford or not afford healthcare is one thing. I believe that when we were here last time, I believe her grandfather had passed away. And what was the date of when your grandfather passed away, Ms. Rebello?
On the 26th of July.
July. And so I think the fact is.
No, excuse me, somebody who she brought with her in the background just said it was June and not July.
Yeah, I'm sorry, 6/26 was the date my grandfather passed, but we didn't have the funeral until the 19th of
July.
Yes, because Fort Sam was backed up.
And to be specific, Judge, my question to her was not the use of drugs. My question to her was very specific. It was the use of marijuana. That was what I was under the impression of. I still think that she has exhibited full candor with the court. She has not dodged the court's questions. She hasn't gone down the rabbit trail for 15 minutes trying to suggest other excuses why.
I asked your client if she was going to be positive for drugs.
I understand.
Marijuana is a drug, and she said no.
Right, I understand that, Judge, but at the same time, I know the drug stays in your system for more than 3 days or more than 30 days. And so she may have not been aware of that, Judge. But the fact is, after I told her about that, she admitted to you that she would test positive.
And then, so what I have before me is a person who's saying that she's taking care of her aunt, and didn't she say she was taking care of a child as well?
It's not her
Did
child.
I hear that improperly?
It's Ms. Rebello, is it not true you are taking care of your 8-year-old niece and your 7-year-old nephew, or you're helping to be a caregiver for them? Can you explain to the court what role are you playing with them?
Well, I am the sole provider now. My grandfather left everything to me, so I have to now, take care of the house inside and out and the kids. And like I said, I'm sorry, Judge. I wasn't really realizing how long they stay in your system, but I really am trying. I haven't picked up any new cases. I have been working at Etiquette since early November of 2020. Steady employment. I'm doing the best that I can, and I will continue to. If you could just please, I just don't want this hanging over my head anymore.
Well, I don't understand why she is being allowed to take care of a 7-year-old and 8-year-old, and she's using marijuana, Xanax, and Vicodin. Somebody explain that to me. How is that appropriate? How does a 7-year-old and an 8-year-old does not deserve somebody who's not using marijuana, Vicodin, and Xanax? I mean, where is this going? Is there anyone on this screen today who would want this defendant to babysit their child knowing what they now know? Raise your hand if somebody would want this person. All right, then somebody call CPS. Does anybody want someone who's using marijuana, Vicodin, and Xanax to be in charge of a 7-year-old and an 8-year-old?
Your Honor,
I mean, I find that very concerning because she's saying what she says. It's honestly, it's neither here nor there. If I give her 60 days, judgment satisfied, and she walks out of this courtroom, let me just tell you what happens. One, she's no longer on probation. She can use as much Vicodin, Xanax, and marijuana as she wants. And she's telling me that she's in charge of a 6-year-old, 7-year-old. And then I'm assuming I'm supposed to feel sympathetic, which I do. I empathize and I feel sympathy for people who've lost their loved ones. But she's lost someone in her life, which is devastating. So now I have someone before me who has 2 children that she's the sole caretaker of. That's what she said. She's the sole provider. I have somebody who's using drugs. Her relative died in June. So we do know, based upon her testimony, that she actually used drugs at least 3 days ago. I don't know if that happened in the home where the children are or not.
No, ma'am.
All I know is she's the sole provider for a 7-year-old, 8-year-old using drugs. And I'm supposed to allow her to go out in the world free from any type of supervision to take care of a 7-year-old and an 8-year-old where she's using drugs.
Your Honor, at this juncture, I'd like to do is call her sister, which she's sitting in the back as a witness to Ms. Rubello's ability to be the caregiver and the circumstances regarding her becoming the caregiver of the niece and nephew.
Sure. Have the sister come up, please. Could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record, please.
My name is Sasha Beckett.
All right, and I'm gonna need you to speak up.
My name is Sasha Beckett.
Spell your last name, please.
It is Beckett.
And spell your first name.
It is Sasha.
All right, defense.
Okay, Ms. Beckett, you've heard the testimony of Ms. Rubello and you've heard the concerns of Judge Boyd here today, have you?
Yes, I have.
Okay, and then so what is your observation? She mentioned, that is Ms. Rubello mentioned that she had taken Vicodin and I believe it was Xanax. And do you know whether she had any prescriptions into those drugs previously?
Previously, yes, she has. My sister's been in numerous car accidents. She does have herniated disc in the lower and the upper, the lower lumbar as well as the upper. Now, she does not have medical insurance. I was trying to get her on mine, but you know, I'm not able to, not in the state of California, no. Now she hasn't worked long enough for her medical benefits to take effect. But my sister's not an addict. Is she in pain? Yes. And I see it like the whole time I've been here. I mean, like cringing in her bed from the pain.
Well, Ms. Beckett, can you tell the court, in terms of whether or not the passing of the grandfather has been a stressful experience for the family?
It has been beyond stressful. More so to Valencia because our grandfather raised Valencia. Like that is, you know, I had a dad. And our mom was around, but she wasn't around. And my grandfather has been Valencia's mom and dad all her life. And she has taken care of him, you know, for 5 years. And, you know, he has other kids. And then, you know, he has some grandkids, but no one has
So Miss
been there for him like Valencia was.
Miss Beckett, let me interrupt you just for a second. Could you tell the court, how did your grandfather end up with the 8-year-old and 7-year-old niece and nephew?
It was due to the passing of our oldest brother.
And how long had he taken care of them?
Since 2 and 3. And he had just finished having open heart surgery, 2 of them back to back, because the hospital messed up on the first one and they had to go back in and redo it again. And Valencia was the only person there, you know, and it's not right because we as a family should have came together at that time, but for you know, different circumstances.
Right. So
Miss
Miss Beckett,
we weren't able to be there.
Miss Beckett, where do you reside?
I reside in California, Costa Mesa.
California? Okay, so are you here just to visit for the funeral?
Yes, and I'm just trying to, you know, kind of help Valencia get everything into perspective. But yes, my life is in California.
Okay.
Valencia is really just here by herself. We have an elderly aunt that also stays in my grandfather's home that Valencia also cares for.
So Miss Beckett, prior to your grandfather passing, the household consisted of your grandfather. I'm sorry, what was his name?
His name was Lawrence Rebello.
So the household consisted of Lawrence Rebello, correct?
Yes.
And then Valencia Rebello, that's her dad, correct?
No, that's my grandfather.
That's grandfather. I'm sorry, her grandfather. And what are the names of the two children?
It is Serena and Dominic.
And so the household consisted of the 4 of them. Is that correct?
Yes.
So
well, and I'm sorry, it's 5 because my elderly aunt is there.
Okay. So is your elderly aunt in the household now?
She is in the household now.
And how old is she?
66.
And so what role did she play in being a caregiver for Serena and Dominic?
She doesn't. She's just, honestly, she's just there. She's a very, very, very selfish, very mean lady.
Okay, well, I just want to know it's not what her personality is. I'm just
sorry.
asking.
She doesn't care for them.
Yeah. And do you have personal knowledge that she has never taken or participated in the caretaking of Serena and Dominic?
From my knowledge, no.
And so do you think that Serena, this is not about Serena and Dominic, but whether the judge should allow Valencia to have a judgment satisfied in this case because of the nature of her drug use. And so what you're saying is that she had prior prescriptions for Vicodin for her back and for for Xanax, correct?
Yes, and then the Vicodin was like, they even had to up her for her pain medication, as
Okay,
well as I think it was muscle relaxers that they had given her.
okay. But so the use of the medications is related to physical injuries and stress.
Yes.
Okay. And so to your point, other than those three things we talked about, the marijuana, the Vicodin, and the Xanax, can you tell the court whether you have ever seen Ms. Rebello use any other drugs or consume any of the drugs?
No, I have not. And
And
not
for-
since my time being down here.
Okay. And how long have you known Ms. Rebello?
All my life.
No further questions for this witness, Your Honor.
Are any questions, State?
Just a few, Judge. Hi, Ms. Beckett.
Hello.
So I understand you to be saying that Mr. Bello is the only person that is actively taking care of Serena and Dominic. Is that right?
Yes.
And I do empathize with Ms. Rebello and her pain, but when the pain gets to be unbearable, who else is there to watch these children when she has to deal with the pain in whichever way she chooses to do so?
You know what? There's no one. Like I said, I'm down here now, helping her put things into perspective and into place. But by far is Valencia an irresponsible caregiver. And I mean, I wish I was able to bring the kids in here to, to speak on her behalf, because she takes great care of them.
I understand, Ms. Beckett. My question is, if Ms. Rebello is under the influence of some substance to deal with this pain, who else is there to watch these children?
It would probably be, a family friend, or, myself as of right now.
But you live in California?
Yes, but I would have to do what I have to do, for them as well as for Valencia.
I understand. Thank you. Pass the witness, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court has denied the motion. The court is going to alter and amend conditions to include random UAs, parenting classes, and there's to be no employment as a home healthcare provider or employment with minor children. Is there anything else from either side?
I think from the state, Judge.
I'm sorry, Judge, can you repeat that so I can get this down?
Yeah, Barbara. I'm denying the motion. I'm altering and amending conditions to include random UAs, parenting classes, no employment as a home healthcare provider or with minor children. And Rebecca, I'm going to want a UA today so she can be tested for levels.
Okay, so parenting classes and UAs.
Yes.
Testing today. And motion.
And Ms. Robledo, those levels need to start dropping. Do you understand? So there's to be no more drug use. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so then she will be continued on her, because I think she was on 2 years.
Yes. No, she's on regular probation.
Regular probation, I'm sorry.